Hello there, my name is Musoma from dotShule. In this short video, I'm going to demonstrate the procedures for managing the timetable. First, we need to take a look at some of the timetable basics to enable us conduct this activity with ease. In our timetable, we are sampling with each day consists of 5 periods, each period separated by a break. We shall see how the breaks are added in the timetable. For each period, there are 2 sessions, and each session can accommodate an activity or lesson that does not exceed 80 minutes. Now, let's look at how the timetable is dealt with, how it is managed on the system. For you to be able to conduct this activity, you have to ensure that, first of all the teachers are assigned their respective subjects in all the classes they teach in that particular study term or year, and also ensure that the person managing the timetable has been given the rights to manage the timetable. The procedure starts with clicking on planning and academics, then click manage school timetable. In case your school has only single streams, you just use that option. Otherwise, you can use the second option where you handle each section independently. This is where we add the breaks. You start with setting the lesson duration in your school. So in the introduction, I talked of a session consisting of up to 80 minutes. So here we are looking at a single lesson duration. So you set that policy accordingly. If in your school a lesson runs for 40 minutes, you set it from there. Then we start to add the breaks. Adding breaks requires you to click on the edit icon. Then you type what applies to that break. Like here we have preparation, the time when students wake up before they are supposed to go to the class, even when they are 5 minutes or they are given 10 minutes, you just edit that time accordingly, maybe from 4:50 a.m. to 5. Those 10 minutes are what the students use to prepare for the morning preps for a school that has a boarding section. This is how you set that and you save. So when you save, our first period will be now separated. This is how we separate the first period. Then you go to the first period will begin at 5 onwards up to the first break at 6:30. So in case your school doesn't have a boarding section, maybe it is a day school, this is where you add the details, like for example, arrival of the scholars. In case there is some general cleaning that is conducted, all those activities can be added in the description, and then you save. Then you go to the break tea time, 10:30. So if this is how by default it appears, describe the activities that take place during this time. So once you type, that's what will appear on the timetable. You go to the lunch break, you also type the same description. Now for the evening break, because you may find that in your school some classes end lessons at 4:40, but others proceed to 6, like candidate classes. So you ensure that you set this break to cater for the last class with the last lesson. I mean, the last class to have a lesson. Like for example, senior 6 might be ending their lessons at around maybe 5:40, 5:20. So that's what you put up to. So you integrate it with the supper time and the prayer time up to when we have the last period of the day, which makes the evening preps running from 7 p.m. to 9:30. And then we have our last break, which is sleep time. These are equivalent to the recess periods we may have in the school. So when you're finished setting that, you just go to managing another section of the timetable. the shortcut is there. So the section can be, you just choose the class that applies. For example, here we have senior one, and you click OK. The senior one timetable will be generated. In case you happen to get any challenge with the internet, you can just refresh and you go back following the same procedure we shared. So this is where our timetable is. Our first period is for the morning preps. You can see the first break, which is 6:30 to 8:30. So in case a class has some morning preps, this is where you add the details. Maybe in case these morning preps, they are actual lessons. So you just select lesson, then you choose a subject. All those subjects that are assigned to a teacher will appear in the drop down. So you select accordingly. Maybe this is English. The teachers you assigned will automatically appear. This is teacher Geoffrey Chisache. Now, since our first break, the lesson begins at 5, so the start time should be 5 a.m. as you set in the, when you are setting the break, 5 up to 6. That is the first session, 6:20. You might find that 6:20, the reason why it is so, it is to cater for the first session, which is 80 minutes. If you put anything beyond the 80 minutes, the system will not allow. It will give you that notification, but if you put 6:20, it will allow. That is what caters for the first session. In case this is a lesson that is conducted from 5 up to 6:30, you go to the second session and you proceed with the other extra minutes, which is English. Then by teacher Chisache, you continue from where you stopped. That would be 6:20 a.m. to 6:30 so that you can cater for the 10 minutes and then you save. So this is how you add your lesson. Then you go to the next break. The first lesson begins immediately at 8 a.m. So that the first session will begin at 8 a.m. and the lesson can be, for example, geography by teacher Twine Joseph. So you just add that time following that procedure. This is a double. Our double, remember, we set it at 40, so that will be 9:20. Then you save. In a case, you may find that this lesson, this is an elective subject. You find that there are multiple lessons conducted at the same time. You just use the plus sign to add another lesson in that same session. Much as I use the geography here, you may find the lesson like, say, agriculture, and as agriculture students are attending their lesson, entrepreneurship students are also attending their lesson. So you just add that lesson accordingly. It is also a double, though in our timetable it only works for a double is catered for in one session, which runs for 80 minutes. I'm sure this will give you a proper guide on how to go about these activities. Now, there are cases where in some periods, there are actually events, like for example, Friday. You might find that from 8 onwards in the first session, there's an assembly. So you just use event and the event name, you type assembly. The teacher responsible can be the teacher on duty. Then from 8 a.m., our assembly may be 2 hours. So here we can put, for example, we can utilize the first 80 minutes. That will be 9:20 a.m. for our first session. Then we also add more, and we add the other minutes in the second session. So the event is still assembly, teacher on duty. Here we already used 80 minutes, and we know that 2 hours consist of 120 minutes. So the balance is 40. So we shall start from 9:20 a.m. up to 10 a.m. Then you save. So we can add much as we know that we can add more, we can add the lesson later on by using add in case there is a lesson that is conducted. Now, likewise, the way how we have managed this assembly event, you can as well as manage any event, whether it is a free activity, maybe free activity, or even personal time. So you just manage events that way, just as we have demonstrated with the assembly. When you finish, you can always handle section by section, following the school timetable as it is set. For those periods with the extra lessons, you just use the option to add. In case you give a staff member that has already been assigned, the system will notify you. That's how it avoids the clashes in the timetable. So when you finish managing the general timetable, anyone will be able to extract their timetable by visiting academics, planning, view timetables. You can get the school general timetable. You can get the school breaks timetable. You can even get the school day timetable or even the class stream. So each class can get its own timetable, and even each teacher through their accounts, user accounts, they are able to get their timetables. You just click OK, and the staff will be able to get this timetable at any time of the day for each class he or she has been assigned. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to this channel for more videos.